So with muzzle training, how I start is I literally just put this down on the ground, and as soon as my dog shows any sort of interest in it, sniffing it, looking at it, anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and mark and reward them for that. Yes, good boy. So he just sniffed and touched it with his nose. Yes, touched it with his foot. And I'm going to keep looking at the muzzle. He's going to maybe probably offer things that he knows what to do. Right now he's doing a head down, but I'm just going to keep looking at the muzzle. I'm not looking at him. I'm going to orient my energy and my focus on where the muzzle is so that hopefully he's going to kind of look where I'm looking and see, yes, good boy, what I'm interested in, because dogs go a lot on like body language and gaze. So I'm just going to keep focusing on it, make it so that he's going to maybe be interested in it. That's still just a command that he knows. And I would stay pretty silent during this. I wouldn't do a lot of talking. I would just focus on the muzzle. As soon as they show any interest, yes, good boy. I'm going to reward it, and then I might hide it. Give him a break for a few seconds. I'm going to toss him so you guys can see. And then I'm going to make it so it comes back. And we'll just see if we can get him really interested in interacting with it. Yes, good boy. And you can toss treats away so that, yes, when they come back to it, they're more interested in kind of going towards it. And you get another repetition when you toss away. Yes, good boy. Just going to do that for a few repetitions. Yes. I want to be pretty quickly moving my criteria to him actually touching it. So at first, maybe, yes, it's just a look or a sniff or whatever, but I'm moving, yes, towards him really touching it. And then I'm going to progress towards him touching it for longer and longer, really like shoving his nose into it. Yes, good boy. So that he's really getting the idea that putting his, yes, nose in something is a good thing. So once your pup is comfortable with seeing the muzzle and they're, you know, interacting with it, and you think that they kind of like it, then you can start to hold it so that I've folded the straps back just so they're not hanging kind of out in front like it normally, and this is a Baskerville muzzle. But I'm going to fold the strap so that it's just the basket muzzle itself, and I'm going to hold it so that my hand is flat on the bottom. That way I can feed in the top, or I can feed in the bottom if I want to, and I can hold it kind of flat in front of me. And so then I'm going to do that same thing where I'm going to toss the treat away, see if he'll come back and have interest in it. If he does, we're going to reward. Yes, good boy. So I want him to stick his nose in it, right? And at first you can totally reward him just touching it in any manner. He was not really interested in the muzzle itself. He was kind of more worried about where the treat was. And so I wanted to wait until he interacted with it. Yes, good boy. But just getting him repetitions of, yes, him putting his nose in there, getting a reward. And I like to make sure, yes, I'm the one pulling the muzzle away so that he's not learning to pull his head out, but he's always waiting for me to remove it from his face. Yes, good boy. That way, again, he's not learning to pull his face out. He's learning to put his face in it further. Good boy, nice job. Good. And so then if he's sticking it in there pretty far, I'm going to try to feed a treat in it and then pull the muzzle off. I'm going to do that a few times. Yes, good boy. And again, I'm trying to not put the muzzle on him. I'm trying to have him be the one who's coming into, yes, where the muzzle is, so that he's learning to opt into this, right? He's not learning that, yes, I'm just going to strap this on his face and he's going to have to deal with it. He's learning that this is a really super fun game that we can play together. Yes, good boy. Because dogs don't, you know, they don't know why they need to wear a muzzle. So to them, it's just a funny, weird thing that humans do. And that's fine. I would like him to keep thinking that it's a funny, weird game that we play and he has fun at. So once they're really consistently sticking their face in, I'm going to start to feed multiple treats in a row and then pull the muzzle off. So we're going to go 1. And that was a big treat. So we had to, you know, go out of there to chew it. 2, and then remove. Good. Yes. Good. Nice. Good boy. And so this is how you can build some duration, is the longer they stay, you know, with their face in the muzzle, the more treats they get. And then the treats stop when we pull it off. Yes, good boy. And then you can do a toss away for another repetition. Yes. Good. Yes. Good. Good. So now I'm going to see if he'll kind of follow it. So I'm going to toss a treat, kind of stick it out in front of me. Yes, good boy. I'm going to reward. And then I'm going to move it forward and see if he stays with it. He's looking at the treats because I have them in there. Yes, good boy. You might have to lure it first with a treat there just so he understands, yes, he can move his feet with it over his nose. Because I want him to learn all of this before I start to strap it on. I don't strap it on for a long time. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. It also really helps to have a chin rest behavior before this. So you can check out my other videos on that. Because he's, you know, kind of using that as a way to apply pressure and understand that his face touching things is a good thing. I'm just rewarding him for taking steps with it on. And I'm holding kind of like a treat. Yes, good boy. In front of him so that he learns to move for it. I might move this towards like doing like a touch because he really likes touch. So I'll do this and see if he'll do. I know it's confusing. You can do both at the same time. Touch. Yes, good boy. Nice job. So that's another way you can get them to move. But I want him to be used to touch. Yes. Again, he's waiting for me to pull this muzzle off rather than him pulling his face out and doing something else. I don't want to move to the next step until he's totally comfortable with this and is super excited about putting his face in here. Yes, good job. Yes, very good boy. Yes, very good. Yes. So I will practice the snap strap separately, or the strap snap, or whatever you want to call it. So this one has a locking mechanism, just for safety features for when you have the actual muzzle on the dog. But what I'll do is I'll just start kind of like the clicker, where the click means a treat. I'm just going to pair the snap of this with a treat happening, and right now I'm just going to do it in front of him. I'm not going to do it anywhere near his ears or head or anything. So I'm just going to click it. Yeah, good boy. And we're going to reward. I'm just going to do that multiple times until I feel like he's really comfortable with that. And then maybe I'll start getting it closer to him. I'll start going around his neck and things like that. But I might even start really simple and just like, yes, reaching for him, towards him. So that he understands that the snap going, like the strap going around him is a good thing. Yes, because that's something that's going to happen after he gets really used to putting his face in the muzzle. Is his face is going to go in the muzzle, and then we're going to snap it. But I tend to wait until I've got all of the different pieces. Yes, good boy. All put together before I try to do all of those together. And that I would say that should take at least a couple weeks. Before progressing to the next step, because I like to get them really used to moving around with it on without it actually being strapped to them before strapping it onto them and having them move around. Good boy. So to show you next steps, Zana has been doing this for a long time. That was not her first time doing this. As you can tell, she has a lot of duration with this. She really likes having her face in here. She's really comfortable with it on. And so what I would start to do is I would start to offer her to do this, and then I might flip a strap. So I'm going to flip a strap. Yes, good job. Make it so that, you know, moving around with her ears, touching her ears, those kind of things is a positive experience. So she's getting used to the strap flipping around, getting rewarded for that. Touching her ears, because those straps are going to touch their ears. That's something that's going to happen. Again, she's pretty comfortable with this, and so I'm not having to do a lot. Then I might do, okay, both. We're going to practice. Yes, good. And she has a little bit more of a pull away. I trained her a little bit differently, but obviously she's quite happy to put her face back in there, so I'm not worried about how she feels about this. We just haven't practiced as much of staying in there. But then I might do a clip. Yes, good girl. Feed a couple treats, unclip it, and then take it off. Practicing it getting kind of tighter and tighter over time. And you may even just start with doing like a clip and unsnap. So clip, unsnap. Yeah, good girl. and rewarding her for that experience. Once they're comfortable with the strap going over, you've practiced a lot of just like clip, we're gonna reward, and then we're gonna take it off, and just doing that really consistently. You've also practiced her being able to kind of go and do things with the muzzle, moving around with it. Now you can put those two things together, right? So we can do a clip, we can ask her to do something, like a touch. Yes, good girl. Reward, and then take it off. And then no rewards happen when it's off, so she gets a break. She can move away if she wants to, whatever. She's very clearly not into the moving away. She wants to do it again, and that's what you want, right? You want a dog who's super excited to play all the games. It's very good. It's very good. And so then you can start to add kind of duration and distance to this, where, you know, can we practice some of our other things? Can we do some touching with this? Again, starting with really short periods of time. So I'm not going to put this on and go for a walk with her, right? I'm going to put this on and do a couple steps and then take it off. I'm going to put it on and do, you know, steps around the house, and then, you know, 1 minute down the block and things like that. Like, make it very, very slow. If your dog at all seems uncomfortable, they start pawing at the muzzle, or, you know, they want to get it off and they're not really interested in anything else, you need to go back a couple steps and make it more positive so that they are not stressed about it being on their face. If you're using this in a cooperative care way, so instead of doing something like a chin rest and doing touching for ears or vaccines or whatever it is, you would do the same thing with the muzzle. So we're going to use the muzzle, we're going to clip this on, we're going to practice to do, you know, okay, we're going to tent and pinch. Yes, good girl. Reward. And then I'm going to take it off. Give her a break if she wants a break. If she doesn't want a break, that's fine. You can kind of force them to take breaks by tossing treats away, things like that. But you're going to do that in the same manner, where this means something's going to happen, but that also means you need to just practice this as being good. Only treats happen, nothing happens to you, right? Because if we train this really well, it's super happy and fun and positive for them, and then we start to use it only for vaccines or only for ear cleanings or things like that, then they're going to start to get more on that aversive side, right? And so see, she's not super comfortable with it, so I'm going to pop it off. Was that one a little tight? And she still wants to interact, so what I'm going to do is I'm just maybe going to do something really short. So I'm going to put it on, we're going to clip and take off. Yeah, good girl. Nice job. And so whether that was just she, you know, it pinched her in some manner that she didn't like, or I wasn't giving her enough information. Very good dog. So nice. And so that's a situation where, you know, you can have a dog that's super comfortable with it, and then all of a sudden they're like, I don't really like this. Well, then we need to work more on the positive side of things to override those negative experiences or those things that happened when the muzzle was on, to make it not as exciting for them.